The production mapping suite of the ArcGIS extensions for ArcGIS 10 is now available. This includes Stereo Analyst. Stereo Analyst, you see the stereo window in front of you here. It is our digital stereoscope product that allows for feature collection and update in a stereo environment, which of course improves your interpretability and also the accuracy of the resulting layers. ArcGIS Terrain Editor is another product that we've got inside the suite, and that allows you to edit and update geodatabase terrain layers using point, break line, as well as some area-based editing tools that we provide you. We've also got a third product, Feature Assist, and that is a tool that allows you to collect complex building roofs using a template to go in and speed up that collection. And then you can go in and drop those buildings to the ground and create realistic sort of 3D models that you can throw into products like Google Earth. So I wanted to touch on some of the new features that you'll be seeing with this release. And the first thing I wanted to touch on was actually an enhancement that we've done to our digital globe importer. So we've always had the ability of bringing in QuickBird data and WorldView data using a project file that we auto-construct for you. So basically if we see a project folder sitting there and we detect that you've got multiple overlapping frames, we'll go ahead and construct this project file for you. But with this release, what we've done is we've also, if you've got tiled TIFFs sitting inside there, we go ahead and we grab that TIL file that makes reference to all the tiled images that make up the tiled TIFFs, and we use that to go ahead and reconstruct that image on the fly for you. And so you can use those and we'll reconstruct the image, reconstruct the stereo pair. And so as I advance through this importer, when I get to the end, we'll go ahead and burn those orientations into the images. And once you say finish here, it would then go off, do some processing, and then drop that in the frame for you. So you can see I've got my WorldView 2 stereo pair, again comprised of tiled TIFFs, loaded up in my stereo window. So if I wanted to go in and collect with this, I'm pretty much ready to go, and I've got the parallax cleared for this building here. So that sort of brings me to the second thing I wanted to show you, and that's probably the most obvious change with this release, and that's the integration into Standard Arcmap 10, which has seen quite a change at the 10 release. So you can see obviously what's standard for 10 is this create features dialog comes up, the construction tools comes up. So now I can go in and just like before with Stereo Analyst, I'm using those standard tools that I'm used to using inside of ArcMap 2D window to go in and do my collection in the 3D window. And so let me see, if I go back here and I grab this guy, the only difference is those tools that I used are now giving me X, Y, and Z values, and those Z values are the same. You can see that I can adjust the parallax and therefore my floating cursor, and then you can see that Z value going up and down in the stereo window. But you can see how each of the vertices that I've collected of this building is now populating with Z information as well. So that is collection with Standard Stereo Analyst, but again, as I mentioned before, with Feature Assist, we give you the ability to do complex building roofs. So if I go in and I load a multi-patch data source now, and again start editing, so now that create features dialog, when it comes up and I select my multi-patch, now I'm seeing all the tools and the templates of Feature Assist populating into this list. And so now all of these tools are available for me. And so let me bring up a perspective view because it's much easier to see as these buildings get collected. If I bring that guy up, and I'm actually going to pop up here to this dome structure, and again just sort of adjust my Z in the stereo window. I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab the dome tool, line this guy up. So I'm going to select and click in the middle of my dome, then adjust my Z down to the base of this building structure, stretch this guy out, and I moved my mouse there at this last minute, but now I'm going to adjust it to the ground, extrude roof base, and so now I have my 3D dome structure. Alright, so I've cleared out my ArcMap document window. I just want to go in and show you one more thing. I'm just going to load a different data set here. So I'm loading my rasters, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab my geodatabase terrain to drop in here. Let me just grab a couple layers here and drop those into the view. Contours get constructed on the fly. So now we're inside the stereo window, and just going to zoom in real quickly. And let me adjust this parallax a little bit. So with the last release, we had obviously the autocorrelation option, so the ability to go in and generate new points automatically to participate in the terrain. With this release, we've also added the option to use our, brought up the wrong thing there, to use our EATE algorithm in order to do that correlation option. So you can unselect or deselect and still get classic in there. However, we now of course have the EATE plugged in to allow you to use that option in that algorithm when processing. So now I can go in, select the autocorrelation tool on the toolbar, define my area for autocorrelation, and it goes off, runs the process, and returns a number of points for me. And once I have these points, what I can do is, let me just pop out of the stereo window, and I'm going to go up to my coefficient, or my correlation coefficient threshold slider bar. And so as I move this to the higher values, to the higher end of the toolbar, points with lower values, so points that the software is less confident about, they drop off from view. Once I have the set of points that I'm happy with that are accurately modeling my terrain, I can go ahead and merge those in, and they would merge in. Any updates needed for the contours, they would get updated at that time as well. And those are just a few of the new features that we have for this release.